Relearn packet works. The first thing we're going to do is determine which sections of the retest or the relearn packet you even need to do. We'll do that in just a minute. And then I'm going to make a series of videos for each one of these sections. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. I'm going to make 5 videos. We're actually going to record some during class today, and then when next period comes in, I'm going to record some with the next class. So all 5 videos are going to be done. Then I'm going to put the videos up on YouTube. Yes. Then you are going to be able to go home and watch the videos for any section that gives you difficulty. Okay? And then you're going to do those sections one at a time. In each section, each part of the relearn packet is divided into 3 sections. And the first section we do together. I'm going to record it right now. Then you do section B. You show me section B. Do not do section C right when you do section B, or I will make up another section for you to do. Now, you do section B, and you let me or someone who's really, really good at math, like professional good at math, check over the work. Make sure you're doing it right. Then you do section C. It makes no sense to still be making mistakes on section B and then go do section C and just keep right on doing those same mistakes. So we want to get that done. And then you have to do that for all of these parts of the test. There's a typo, I should say many. This is going to be due, write this down on the top of the packet. The packet is due by October 17th. So on the top of it, write down, due October 17th. Okay? It's about 3 weeks from now, just about. It's like 3 weeks from Friday. Okay?
Hand it in earlier now.
Yes, please. It's better to hand it in early, but I'm going to give you until then. If it's not done by then, you're not going to get it done. And I'm going to be checking with you. And like if I see that you're not doing your work at home or in extra help or whatever, I'm going to throw you up on a stage during lunch. Absolutely. You are here to learn and be successful. It is not about if you get a 36 or a 48 on a test and you go, okay, no big deal, life goes on. That's a problem. And we need to correct that, and we need to stop it now. Now, the good news is there's so many kids over the years, I can't even begin to count them, that the first couple of tests of the year, they do really, really bad. Then they do relearn packets, and by about, I'd say, Christmas, they never need to do a relearn packet the rest of the year. Because sometimes there's things from your past that you don't understand, and they haunt you on every test you take. So the relearn packets, because I look at your work with you, and we do it together, I get to see where there's a little problem with your understanding. And together we work through this problem, and then it never hurts you on tests anymore. Okay, so I need you to look at your test right now, and look at numbers 1 through 5. Just look at your answer sheet, okay? Numbers 1 through 5, just write down how many you got wrong and put it right in this blank right here. Yes?
When we do that new the test, is it going to be the same exact test?
With the numbers changed. Yes? We'll get to that in a minute. First, let's just mark how many we got wrong, okay? Next, look at numbers 5 through 9, mark how many you got wrong. Numbers 10 through 18, 19 through 22, and then 23 through 25 you can put down there somewhere. So just count how many wrong in each section and put those numbers in the blank. Okay. Should take just another moment or so. Okay, so let's just say we have this imaginary person, Mr. Bill. And Mr. Bill takes his test and, oh no!
You did great.
This is how Mr. Bill did on each section. So let's read and see what it says. Chelsea, I think this is getting to what you were asking about before. He got one question wrong on the first part. It says here, if you got more than one wrong, you have to do section 1. Did he get more than one wrong? No. So he doesn't even have to do section 1. So when it comes to Mr. Bell's relearn packet, he doesn't have to do section 1. So if you did really well on section 1, you have nothing to do. Just skip it. Next, Numbers 5 star through 9. How many did you get wrong? He got 2 wrong. It says if you got 2 or more wrong, you have to do the section. Does Mr. Bill need to do this section? Yes, absolutely. He would have to do this.
I got 3.
So this one's yes. The first one's no. Now the next one, it says in numbers 10 through 18, how many did you get wrong? If you got more than 1 wrong, you have to do section 3. What about Mr. Bill? Does he have to do section 3?
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does. Next, how many did you get wrong? This part, Mr. Bill got 1 wrong. It says if you got any wrong, does he have to do section 4?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait.
Then it says if you got any wrong and Mr. Bill got none wrong, so does he need to do section 5? No. So here's the deal. He only needs to do sections 2, 3, and 4. So different people in this room are going to have to do different sections of their relearn packet. You do not need to do. How much sense does it do if you got all of the first section right? Why should you need to do it again? If you got all of the second section right, why should you need to do it again? Now let's say you got rocked in the third section. You definitely need to work on this.
I got rocked.
Okay? So now you know what sections you need to do. And we're going to go through, and section A, for the most part, this isn't completely true, but most of section A is the actual test question. So now what we're going to do is go over what it was that you did wrong. And part A on each of these, that's where I make the video. And as we go through these questions, I'm going to explain to you where I saw the most common mistakes, what I think you might have done wrong, and what the right way to do each of these questions is. So number 1, I think just about every single person in the class got right. It says 5 squared. Obviously, how do I do 5 squared? Just 5 times 5, good. And 5 times 5 is 25. So that's the correct answer. Now, perhaps you didn't pay a ton of attention when I spoke to you guys about numbers 2 and 3. But numbers 2 and 3 are a really big deal. Yes?
I have a question. If you don't have to section, can you still do it?
Oh, yeah. If you want the extra practice, you could definitely do it. And it is, when you take the test, you do have to do all the sections. Okay? So it probably is wise to at least brush up on that. Now, this one says -5 squared. And if you look at number 3, it almost says the same thing. What's the difference between number 2 and number 3? Everybody. Come on, everybody. What's the difference? What? Parentheses. They have to mean something. It's not there for no reason at all. Number 3 means -5 times -5. Just like number 1 meant 5 times 5. Now, when I multiply by a negative, second number's the by, I have to change the first sign. So this comes out to be positive 25. But number 2 does not mean that. Number 2 means, one way to look at it is, -1 times 5 squared. And if 5 squared is 25, then -1 times 25 is -25. Or, the way I prefer you to look at it is to say that this means to negate 5 squared. In other words, figure out 5 squared, then negate it, which means switch the sign. So we said 5 squared was 25. Then I negate it, and what do you get? -25. Now, you tell me, did I just explain anything that is so hard that you can't understand it? Did you get any of those wrong?
No.
If you got any of those wrong, it's not because you're not smart enough to do this stuff. It's because you didn't take seriously your responsibility to prepare. Now, at the end of the day, who suffers because you didn't
Me.
prepare? You do, that's right. And that's the moral to the story. As you get older and you become more and more responsible, what you learn to do is this. You learn to anticipate where you might make a mistake and do what's necessary so that you don't make that mistake. Okay, next, number 4. Now think about what we just said with number 2. Number 2 means, guys, look in here, negate 5 squared. What do you think number 4 means? Jalen, what do you think?
Negate 4 to the third.
That's right. Or we could say 4 cubed, right?
Yeah.
So negate 4 to the third. So 4 times 4 times 4. Now we don't have time to do it all out. It works out to 64. 4 times 4 is 16, times another 4 is 64. You can do the scratch work if you wish. Then I need to negate that. So it's negative 64. Uni, talk to me. What does number 5 mean? I don't want the answer. I want you to tell me what that's telling you to do. That's right. Negate 3 to the 4th. So now 3 to the 4th is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 9 is 81. Then I have to negate it. Again, I ask you, am I doing anything that's that difficult?
No.
If I'd have walked up to you before the test and I'd have put a $100 bill on your desk and said, you get an 80 or higher on this test, you can keep the $100 bill, would you have prepared a little differently? Isn't your future worth more than $100? You bet it is. What's anything to the 0 power?
I hope so.
1.
1. Okay. So, what we just did was we just made our first video. So, what's going to happen is on YouTube, there's going to be a video that says Section 1 of the Relearn packet. If you need to do it, you can go home and watch it again.
That's the name.
Okay? Or, if you don't, then you can just skip it. So let me just, I just need to turn this video off.
And that's the name of the video. That's the
Hold
one
on.
we learned last year.
I'm going to actually, I have to figure out what the name of the channel is.
That would be sad.
Math 101, that's not a bad name.